It is the time for stillness, not for action. For many of us, most of the days it feels like I'm just biding my time. But you can see it in the air. We are undergoing a transformation, a major transformation. And it's easier for all of us if we just sit and wait a little bit. Sit still, even though it doesn't feel or come natural to us. Imagine a fish tank, the water, someone has stirred the water and now all the sand is all over. You can catch every tiny speck that irritates you or makes you angry, but it's not gonna work. And you're always better off by just sitting a little bit, waiting for all that ugliness to settle down to the bottom. Then we'll have some clear waters and we'll see actually the new being built as we speak. It's still too new and too quiet and we can't see it in the middle of all the noises that the old world is making as it's leaving. It's hard to believe that it will happen, but it will. And there are constantly examples, even on a smaller scale, from our own lives. How many times have you rushed to do something and then it turned out it was for nothing? Many years ago, when I was relatively junior physics professor at the local community college, I took on some extra administrative responsibilities, and one day as I was going to class, the office manager said, "Hey, I need a list of all the physics rooms." Now, I didn't have any time and I could just rush and do what she asked and then be late for class and then apologize to my students for being late and blaming it on her or on the college. And it's a spiral down. Then feel rushed for the rest of the day, rush home and be angry and tired. Well, what I did, not through some very spectacular wisdom of mine, but what I did was I said, I'm going to class. Let me take care of this later. Only I forgot completely. I went to class teaching. I don't know if you know, but teaching kind of takes up 100% of your mind focus. You can't just go and do it halfway. So at the end of my class, I had no memories of that request from my office manager. I went home, I chilled. Of the next day, it was about a week when I finally remembered that she had an urgent request. So I rushed to her desk and said, "Hey, what happened with that? I'm ready to give you the list of the physics classrooms." And she said, "Nah, never mind. They actually changed their minds and we don't need that list anymore." You'd think I was happy because at first glance, I didn't get into trouble. I'm still in great relationship with the office manager. But you know what? It irked me. It irked me because the lesson was wrong. At least that's what I thought in the beginning back then. The lesson felt so awful because those who rushed and, let's say, were late for class or took that extra task and completed the ask from the manager ended up doing work for nothing. And those like me who actually blew off that request, went to class, forgot about it, I was being rewarded for bad behavior back then when I was young and not so experienced with the ways of the world. It was not the only time. I tend to be diligent, and when people ask me questions or ask me to do something, I usually am open to help. But there were another time, this time with the dean, who told us, well, we all had to update our websites as of now. So being an overachiever, I went there and updated my website. I updated my faculty profile, uploaded the course syllabi, and I was ready. The next day, everything was gone because it turned out that the system had crashed and our IT administrators had to reverse back to a previous version that was 6 months old. And so much for all my efforts. So now I was on the other side of the equation. I did what I was asked and it was for nothing. I've had several more experiences like that until I recognized what it is. The lesson was exactly what it should have been. The lesson is that there are times when you are better off by standing still and just waiting. Remember that fish tank um, metaphor and imagery? You're better off if the fish tank is all stirred and the sand is all over. You're always better off by standing still, maybe for a moment, maybe for 5 minutes, or maybe for at least the next month, judging from what is going on right now everywhere around the world. And when I say stand still, I don't mean don't go to work. No, please do. Do fulfill your obligations. But come up with a plan that you can actually execute in a leisurely manner without stress. And do not be so easily influenced by everybody who comes urgently to you and says, this is very important, this is very important. And a lot of times it is not. If it's 10 p.m. at night and you're watching the news and you're reading, there's nothing you can do, at least until the next morning. Why not stand still? Why not let the world adjust? And why not try to keep the peace here? Because the world reflects what's inside. And so when you go rushing, all in a hectic manner, stressed, that just reflects the stress inside. You cannot fix the world until you have reached a modicum of peace inside in our mind. And so I don't know if you have read the writings on the wall, but it seems like, at least to me, we're in for quite a chaos. And it's very easy to lose our patience, our calm, our wits, and start doing irrational things and contributing to the chaos and all the sand in this gigantic planetary fish tank. Or we can step back, be still for a moment, and wait for the dust to settle. It is not time yet for those of us who know that we have function to fulfill and job to do in the new world. It is not time to act yet. So hold your horses, and every time when you can't get itchy to get and do something, ask yourself, am I doing something for the sake of doing? Or is this really on my to-do list and I have planned it and I'm going to execute it in a very controlled and orderly manner? Go with the flow for a little bit and let the world settle. It will be easier that way.